Hey guys, and welcome back to another video today. Hope you guys are doing okay. Today's Roberta Style like character graphic improvements, new killer animations, cross progression news, map graphical updates, and much more. And this is from the dev stream, which happened a couple of days ago, so I'm a bit late. Well, I'll be going over the questions and obviously reading the answers from what the dev said from links below on his website. So yeah, this is gonna be a longer video than it normally is. So sit back and relax, and also I'll put timestamp in the description below all the questions and the answers I've been answering, just in case you're not interested in all of them. I'll put in the description below just so you can choose. And yeah, if you guys can drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. No wasting time, let's jump right into today's video, guys. So the first question is, was there any console optimization in the update? And the answer is, the biggest part of the graphical update is overhauling all the assets on the different maps. The team is working on this, and also are taking the time as they go to ensure are well optimized, meaning that some may even be better optimized than the old assets were. For example, there was a particular box that used to have a lot of polygons, which they decided was not actually crucial enough to immersion just to justify that level of detail, and so the polygon count was reduced in the update. According to player reports on Reddit, console players in particular are already experiencing improvements in performance on the updated maps. Optimization is an ongoing process, so it's not perfect yet, but it's definitely being consistently worked on. The next question is, all characters receive graphic improvements as well? Yes. Character outfits are planned to undergo improvements as part of the graphical overhaul, along with updates to animations and skin textures. There will be more information about this in future updates. The next question is, have you guys ever considered dedicating a chapter just for game health? The answer is, this is something that has been discussed internally. The team has grown a lot recently over the last 2 years. Its size has in fact doubled, meaning that they are able to more easily work on both new chapters and game health related features such as matchmaking, hit validation, and performance at the same time. In other words, what they seem to be saying is that because they now have enough people to work on the game health and new content simultaneously, that they have deemed it unnecessary to compromise one for the sake of the other. The next question is, any chance bots and training mode will come to PC and consoles? And the answer is, this is not a planned feature for the moment, but it's definitely a possibility in the future. Bear in mind that mobile is a separate game with a separate team. This doesn't mean that certain features can't be introduced on both platforms separately, but this particular feature is also something that is currently in the works for the main game on PC and consoles. The next question is, will killers receive new animations too? The answer is, killer animations will indeed be updated, though it's likely that older killers will receive more attention in this regard than newer ones. They are unable to identify anything specific, but changes to killer animations are being worked on. Some, such as new wall breaking animations, have already been implemented into the game. Next question is, are you saying we'll all get to new Moris? Answer is, when they talk about new kill animations, they are speaking mostly in terms of gameplay animations such as movement and obviously hit attacks. The priority for now is to make the gameplay feel smooth and up to their more recent standards, so no new more animations are currently planned. Next question is, will there be another huge killer rework this year? The answer is, that depends what you mean by huge. There is nothing on the scale of Freddy's or Doctor rework planned, but there are some smaller changes in the works. They can't go into details, but they can confirm that there are further changes planned for the clown in particular, which obviously is good. The next question is, will legendary outfits get unique voices? This is something that they would like to do, but haven't had the opportunity yet. Next question is, can we know which maps are next up for a graphics update? The answer is, almost all maps will receive a rework as part of the graphical update. They cannot confirm yet which map will be next, but apparently we'll hear about it super soon. They are prioritizing the realms which they think will benefit the most from a graphical update, especially older ones. Next question is there any more info on a procedural reward system? The answer is they don't have any new information to share right now, but it will still be coming eventually. More information will be coming closer to the features release. Next question is why aren't more resources devoted to perk adjustments? The answer is there are actually a bunch of perk updates planned for the next mid-chapter patch, and it's likely that perk change bundles like this will be become more frequent in the future. Typically, most perk changes, balance and quality of life updates will come in the mid-chapter patches, so essentially chapters probably come with the new graphics and obviously new killer or survivor, and mid-chapter patches means just game improvements like game balance. That's what they basically mean. They have made many and fairly frequent balance changes in past patches, but they also understand that questions like this are an indication that players are interested in seeing more of that sort of thing, so we can now expect to see more changes to perks coming in the future. The next question is, will you ever add a new item? The answer is, this is a big fat maybe. It's definitely something that they have thought about, but bear in mind that there are many things to consider where items are concerned, such as new add-ons and how they would fit into survivor blob webs. They are keen to hear any cool ideas that players might have for new items. Next question is, do you plan with revisiting Pyramid Head's power? The question is, they have been working internally to improve their life balancing process, that is, how they go about adjusting killers who have already been released. Until now, they have just been watching killer progress and making tweaks where they can, but they have recently introduced a more formal structured process which Pyramid Head has been the first to benefit from, and we will see the results of this implemented into the game soon. The new process follows a timeline structure which dictates what types of changes get made to killer post-release and when. It is important to remember that new killers in particular often need to be observed for weeks or even months after their release to see how their usage changes and how players adapt to them before making any dramatic adjustments to the gameplay. Next question is MMR ever going back? The answer is yes. Adjustments are currently being made to the system based on information gained from the previous activation of MMR. It is still running in the background and collecting data, and we should expect to see more live testing happen in the future. The next question is, why are blood points capped? The myth behind the blood point cap is that it was introduced to combat hackers, and while there was a useful side effect, it was not its primary purpose. The blood word cap is intended to encourage players to spend blood points frequently as they play the game rather than stockpiling them over time. It encourages people to actually play new characters when they're released instead of maximum out immediately and then never using them again. Although they are aware that this can be annoying at times, they believe it is a net good for player experience as a whole. I disagree with that, by the way. I think it should be capped at 2.5 mil, just an opinion though. And the next question is, why do Blood Party streamers seem so rare? The answer is, the way blood webs are programmed, a certain number of nodes of each rarity will spawn on every blood web. Because each character only has a selection of possible items, add-ons, offerings, etc. of each rarity available, this can create situations where a particular rare item or offering may appear less often than a particular ultra rare one. Simply because there are no more possibilities available in the rare category, even though rare items in general are more common than ultra rares. Next question is, what was the reason for hatch placement offerings? The answer is, With the introduction of Felix and the architect, they wanted to introduce some architecture-related offerings to the game. They had been wanting to create new offerings for a while, and the blueprint offerings both directly relate to one of the characters and also make sense with the maps. Procedural generation. They chose not to make the offerings secret to give players an opportunity to have their effects in mind and play around them during the match. The next question is, how frequently can we expect graphics updates? Answer is, they are planning to release a graphical update with each major patch, chapter and mid chapter, if all goes according to plan, but this could change depending on how much they are able to achieve in that time. The next question is, should we expect future updates to be coupled with chapters? The answer is, the P2B release of the overhauled Yamaka and Springwood maps went very well and generated a lot of good feedback, which allowed the maps to be improved between the P2B and live releases. If everything goes well, they plan to continue to push map updates with major patches like this one, as well as the one on the corresponding P2Bs. The next question is, can we get XP offerings on PC and console? The answer is, the progression system on mobile is very different to that on the main game, so developers don't feel having offerings to boost XP to gain would fit well with the design of the rest of the main game. The next question is, are there plans to give a 100-second ultra add-on? The answer is, they have mentioned in the past that they want to visit the add-ons of older killers who have released add-on sets before. So the add-ons that every killer should have now is 4 common, 5 uncommon, 5 rare, 4 very rare, and 2 ultra rares. And this is something they have been working on. Hillbillies and Cannibals revised add-ons have been a prominent recent example of this. The Huntress is one of the 2 remaining killers who still require this treatment, and they confirm that she will therefore have her add-ons reviewed at some point, though when this will happen or what exactly will involve remains a mystery. So obviously they're probably going to most likely get rid of every head, which is obviously good in my opinion. The next question is, have you considered bringing the P2B consoles? The answer is, this is a request that they receive a lot and something they have discussed internally. It's something that they would like to be able to do in order to receive more widespread feedback from a larger portion of the player base, but it's also very difficult to achieve and would slow down the process significantly, mainly due to the console certification processes, which will get in the way of the P2B's primary function, live testing, as well as the processes they use to gather data in the background during the P2B that players don't see. Steam allows the P2B to be easily set up to suit their purposes in a way that other platforms do not. For now, it is not something that they are able to do, but they will continue to look into it as a future possibility. Next question is, does the Never Stop Slashing Legion outfit change expressions? The answer is, although this was a feature that developers wanted very much to include, unfortunately it was found to be impossible due to the current technical limitations. This was made known to the original artist, who was apparently very understanding of the issue. Next question is, are Memento Mori's offerings been changed? The answer is, this has been addressed before, but yes, there'll be changes coming to both Moris and keys in the future. However, they can't confirm whether or not these changes will be implemented at the same time, nor what form they will take, nerf, buff, etc. Simply, weakening mechanic is one option, but it's far from the only possibility. And often the approach taken is problematic mechanics is more along of the lines, how can we find a better way to do something cool with this, as opposed just to weaken it or strengthen it. Next question is, are there plans to remove Bloodlust? The answer is, this has been discussed in recent Q&A streams. Discussion around Bloodlust is ongoing, but there are no current plans to remove it. Because it has been in the game for so long, it is ingrained quite deeply into the gameplay mechanics and has had many different implications for players of different skill levels that all need to be considered when thinking about changing or removing it. Next question is, why do you guys do cosmetic sets? The answer is, it gives the art team more freedom to create outfits that would not otherwise be possible, such as the Oni's Minotaur outfit or Nia's hooded outfit, which would create clipping issues if were mixed with her other cosmetics. In spite of players' concerns, they are not planning to make all outfits linked from now on. The only outfits that will be linked are those which need to be for technical and or visual reasons, regarding the possibility of certain pieces like weapons being linked from the rest of the set. Not underscore Queen was unable to give an answer, but it is planning to try and get more information and possibly deliver an update on the issue in a later Q&A stream. Next question is, when do you think the graphical updates will be finished? Answer is, the entire process is projected to take at least a year to complete. As much as the team are looking forward to the finished product, they also want to take the time to make sure each map, character, etc. is done well to end up the target standard. It will therefore be delivered in sections over time rather than all at once in a single big update. Next question is, any update on Hitler validation? They have fixed some of the major issues with hit validation, in particular one involving the Huntress hatchets, and they're hoping to enable it very soon. When this happens, it will be announced on their social media. For the record, hit validation will likely not completely remove instances of being hit from far away, as it is an ongoing process which they are still working on improving over time. Neither will it improve connection issues for those who are with high latency, but it should help significantly with close calls. The next question is, why can't we switch killers in the queue if MMR is off? But I plan to bring our MMR back in the future, so in the long run, being unable to switch killers while a queue is a planned permanent feature. Because of this, and for the sake of consistency, they prefer to avoid switching it on and off as MMR matchmaking is enabled and disabled during the testing process. Additionally, MMR is something that you can easily switch on and off in the background. While updating features like the ability to switch killers in queue requires a client update, that is, a patch the players are required to download every time it is changed. As mentioned earlier, the MMR system is still gathering data from the players in the background, so leaving the features like this one in place also helps with the processing preparation for the reintroduction of MMR based matchmaking. The next question is, will you add Endgame chapter console? The answer is, this is something they are looking into but not currently working on or planning to implement. While PC players can easily use their keyboard to send messages, most console players will need to use the on-screen keyboard, which is more complex and less player-friendly. There are also policies of third-party organizations like Microsoft and Sony take into account, which adds additional complexity. Oh, I can't fucking read to the implementation of such a feature. Sorry about that. Like, I've been reading so fucking long, 19 minutes. I think this is the final question though. Next question is, will consoles get a mouse and keyboard support? The answer is, similarly to the question above, the developers are not opposed to the idea, but it's not something that they are planning for the game at the moment. Again, third-party policies will need to be taken in consideration when assessing how complicated such as a task will be. Final answer is not a strong no. The next question is, how will cross progression work? The answer is, players will need to create an account in order to share progress between platforms if they have progress in the game on multiple platforms already. These will be merged by combining the best of the worlds and also merging some values. If you have say Maya's fully leveled on one platform and Claudette on the other, with cross progression you will be able to have both characters full leveled on both platforms. If you have more progress on a particular character on one platform than the other, the one in which you have the most progression by character level will be preserved. We've got 2 more questions now, guys, by the way. Next question is, have you ever considered allowing crossplay between only consoles? The idea behind crossplay is bringing everyone together. It's not something that they are wanting or planning to do. Since crossplay went live, they have been and continue to monitor players' activity to ensure that there is no imbalance between console and PC players. So far, everything appears to be going well in that regard. If they find that they need to make changes in the future, they will do so, but for now, limiting crossplay only to certain platforms is not a direction that they are intended to move in. The final question is, will we ever be able to see which platform people are on? So the answer is, this is not something that the developers are able to directly control. The currently used globe icon is the best way to satisfy console requirements. For example, there are complications around displaying an Xbox logo on the PS4, which is not something Sony will approve. Some games have been able to gain specific approval to do things like that, so there's a possibility they'll look into, but we should expect the globe to stay for the foreseeable future. Fucking hell, basically 22 minutes. Yeah, I do apologise, guys, for no reading. I don't think there's this much questions when I fucking went on the website. Holy shit, that was at least fucking 20. It could be even more. I don't know. I don't know how much. But yeah, I'm gonna end it right here. I don't waste too much time. I'm fucking tired now. Definitely go to sleep. Hope you guys enjoy. Any questions, comment section below, and the timestamps are in the description below, by the way, so make sure to check them out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.